All right. So one of my favorite quotes is the one that my spiritual mom used to give me before she went to be with the Lord, and that was, "It's your coat, baby. It is your coat." All right. So what does she mean by that? Well, there are times in our life, well, I can only speak for me personally, where I may feel like, mm, no one understands me. Uh, I may feel like, um, no one wants to hear what God has for me to tell them or share with them. And sometimes, just feeling rejected. Not often, but it's happened. So when those times would happen, I would call on my spiritual mom. Her name was Dorothy McCall. And I would, cry out to her and just say, "Why?" And she would say, "Baby, it's your coat. It's your coat, baby." And so for a while, I would hear her, but I really wasn't understanding. And then as I began to think about the words she was saying and reflecting on the story of Joseph and his coat of many colors, I realized then that what she was saying. So the story of Joseph goes something like this. He had a dad that favored him, and he favored him so much that he bought him a coat, and the coat had many colors. And the brothers, they were hating because they was like, "Well, we didn't get no coat. We ain't got no coat like that. Why Joseph get that coat of many colors and we just get this little solid color robe?" So they basically were hating and they were jealous of Joseph. So they conspired to get rid of him. So they decided they were going to kill him. So they took him and they put him in a pit. And so while they were trying to figure out how they were going to kill him, and then and then take to prove back to their dad without bringing the body, they decided they were just gonna take kill him, take some of his blood, put it on the coat, and take that back to their dad and tell him that he had died. And so but before they talked about that, they just talked about just initially killing him. And one of the brothers, he stood up for him. He was like, "No, don't do that." So he was the voice of reason. And so some people came by that were basically the enemy. And so the brothers offered to sell their brother Joseph, who was stuck in the pit, to these people to take back to their kingdom, and use him as a slave. And so they did. They ended up buying him, and took him back to the kingdom to buy him, to make him be their slave. But how many of you know the rest of the story? If you don't, you got to go there and check it out. But anyway, and they end up, taking his coat and putting animal's blood on there and took it back to their dad and told their dad that he had died. And so the dad went into the grieving stage. But anyway, the main part of this story, when Mother McCall would tell me it's your coat, was to say that sometimes in my walk, there will be people who will feel negative toward me because of my coat, because of the blessing that God has upon me. But it's okay. It's okay. You continue to love them, continue to pray for them, continue to hug on them, and just be there for them, because God has a way of changing the hearts of man. So I say to you, if you feel like you're being rejected and you feel like you're not being appreciated or respected or loved, and um, don't worry about it. It's your coat. Just continue to let God's light shine in you and through you, and don't dim your light. Don't dim your coat. Don't change your coat or dye it so it's just a solid color. Let the coat go ahead and do what it needs to do. In other words, whatever God has put in you to do for him, do it. Don't dim it down. Don't dim it down. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of like, when the Holy Spirit rises up in us and we're like just quenching it, like, whoo, I sure wanted to just give God praise and honor and glory. But, I was worried about what people might say. No, that's dimming it down. Never dim down what God has put in you. Go ahead and let your light shine, so that he will be glorified. Stop trying to please man, but allow God to use you to be all that he has called you to be. Don't dim it down, because then you're trying to please man and not God. All right. So don't worry about it. Just remember, it's your coat. It's your coat. All right. Love y'all. And you have a blessed and awesome day. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.